I noticed, okay, I probably won't be able to stay here. I'm gonna have to get out of the city because I feel like this is where it all began. This is where everyone is. And I don't know if emotionally I can like handle that. So I'm gonna run.
Willie D Live.
And then something was like, bump that. Like everybody has their own voice. No one sounds the same. That's the beauty of music. You know what I mean? Is the individuality of it all. Like, and so once I got over myself and once I got out of my way, I went into the studio and started recording songs that I didn't go in there going like, I'm finna be the next, or this is this, or I'm seeking revenge. No, indeed. There wasn't a spiteful, I'm looking for the words, like, I wasn't trying to malicious, like I wasn't going in there angry. And I think when people come out of hurtful situations or situations that didn't turn out their way, they feel like, oh, I'm going to get back. This is how I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make records, angry records. And I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to tell my side. Never.
Like I did.
Oh, you did? See?
When I first started.
Listen.
When I first started. We'll come back to that. But go ahead.
I just ain't that person. I was like, let me talk about what's really going on in my life. I'm going through some heartbreak. Like, my man ain't acting right. Let me just, let me talk about what's in front of me. Like, what I can't control. I would rather, let's dive into that. So I went into the studio really, I wasn't certain.
Were you in survival mode?
I was in, let's see what God can do. I really, at some point during that whole process, I learned that I had to get out of the way.
Sounds like you on a journey.
I was. And I'm grateful for this journey. Like, when I came out of D.C., we were still obviously here in Houston, living with my mom. And I remember hearing this, radio interview. And I noticed, okay, I probably won't be able to stay here. I'm gonna have to get out of the city because I feel like this is where it all began. This is where everyone is. And I don't know if emotionally I can handle that. So I'm gonna run. So I ran to Atlanta. Thinking I was gonna escape it. They were still in the front of my popcorn bag. They weren't going nowhere. They were all over the radio. There was no escaping this phenomenon. No way. I don't know what I thought I was thinking. I obviously was not thinking. But when I went, I'm grateful that I did because I ended up, me and Elle had tried to start a girls group there. Angel. That didn't work out, Angel. And then I ended up living with my big sis, Adria Wright, who was heavy in the church. And I'm talking about heavy, I'm talking about at the church every day. Like, even when it wasn't nothing to do with the church, we just sit in the parking lot. And I feel like that time, was necessary in my journey because although I wasn't excited about going to church with her all the time, I was like, why we need to go this much? Ain't it? I thought this was just for Sundays. No, ma'am. And so I ended up falling so deeply in love with God all over again. My relationship completely changed. I got a better understanding of who God was, who I was, my growth. I mean, it just so many. I learned that there was life outside of what I had, experienced, outside of the group. Like, it was like God is so much bigger than what you're going through. That's what I learned. It was like this, yes, you might be experiencing heartbreak and all these different things, but God is so much bigger than your problem. And once I learned that, I became confident in myself and confident in my relationship with God. And I think from that, all hell broke loose. There was a fire inside that was lit, and it was like, oh, yeah, it's up. And yeah, I feel like looking back now, that had to happen in order for this to happen.